I have some dynamic leaders that work along beside me. With I don't want to start name because our whole team is just full of leaders, and I'm afraid I'm gonna leave somebody out. But I'm welcoming all of the other leaders from all over the world that's joining us tonight. We so celebrate you. Give yourself a hand right now. You really need to give yourself a hand right now because there are some people that just know how important it is for winners to come together. Yes, that's right. That's right. Thank you, Mr. Cameron, for your participation. If you're excited to be here tonight, go and throw some sevens in the chat. If you're really excited to be here tonight, throw some sevens, throw some flames, throw something. Yeah, I see it coming in. I need some excited folk. I need the energy. We need to have the right energy because we have an individual that's going to come and going to share some information with you. Now, let me share a little bit. This past few weeks, I'm going through a little challenge as far as, because I'm the one that always want to preach and minister divine health and all your needs met, you want for nothing. But I've had a little flu-like symptoms, and I have this irritating cough that's been harassing me for the last few weeks. Come to find out, I caught it from my grandson. Now, you know how your grandbabies are, When I saw that he had this little issue, I really said I do not want to catch his cold, but you got grandbabies, you can't push them away because it hurt their feelings. So I got to embrace him in spite of him having all these little symptoms. Of course, I caught it because I'm not going to push him away. I embraced him. So as a result of that, I caught what he had. So what I'm really trying to say, we have a gentleman that I'm getting ready to bring forth. And tonight, I want him to be contagious. This gentleman, I have a great deal of respect for him. His work ethic is second to none. I call him the GOAT. Now, some people would challenge that because they will say that our CBO and our president is the GOAT. But I like to believe that goats produce goats. So any parent on here, even when you raise your children, most parents will want their child to do better than they did. Well, we have leaders, awesome leaders, that want to see you guys succeed. They're already successful, but their heart's desire is to see you succeed. So the real meaning of success to me is not so much what you accomplish, but what you can help others accomplish. Me being successful is not the true meaning of success. It's how many other successful individuals in my family or in my group or on my team that I can produce. I want to produce successful individuals that they reach their goals. If I got to coach them, if I got to be their drill sergeant, I want to be the one to help them to cross the finish line. This individual I'm bringing on, his work ethic, once again, is second to none. And I want him to be so contagious tonight that I need every one of you to get infected. Like my grandson infected me because I was not willing to push him away, but I embraced him in spite of what I was seeing. I need you to embrace everything that this gentleman is going to share with you tonight because it's really designed as we go into 2024 to catapult your business not to the next level, but to the next dimension. This year, if you embrace the information that the GOAT, he's getting ready to share with you, I guarantee you in 2024, it will produce 6- and 7-figure earners, guaranteed, if you just listen. If you just listen and follow simple instructions, don't try to figure out, don't try to draw back, press in, follow the instructions, and I guarantee you, in 2024, you will blow your own mind. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited to have him. I hope you guys had a chance to reach out to all your folks because it's time to bring him on. So, without further ado, I want to introduce to some and present to others none other than, once again, I say, the GOAT, Mr. Gary McSween. Mr. Gary McSween, are you there, sir? I know I just saw him. Mr. Roach, if you can help me find him, because I just saw him. Mr. McSween. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see the fire coming in. Go ahead, throw the fires in the flames for the goat. Go ahead. Yeah, I see the somebody put the goat out there. I love it. Mr. Roach, if you can help me, I see him. There you go. There you go. Let's get him on. Let's get him on. Mr. McSween.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Outstanding, sir. How are you? We are so excited. I hope you can hear it in my voice and see it all over my face. How excited I am along with our team. When I say team, I'm not just talking about in the DMV, but the NVU family from around the world. We are so excited to have you. And I want to thank you, sir, for fitting us into your busy schedule. And I'm sure as we go through this meeting tonight, it's your meeting. We the students, you the teacher. So we're gonna pull back and we're gonna let you have at it. Everybody, give it up for Mr. Gary McSween. Come on, let me hear it. But the seventh, I mean, they got goats down there, they got fire, they got everything. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Coleman, for putting this call together. I greatly appreciate you and your leadership. And, of course, you asked me to serve your group tonight. And I said, absolutely, yes. And also, we extended this to every single individual that's a part of our organization and even the wider organization of Envision U. And the truth is, anytime you have an opportunity to have a discussion, to listen to someone that has been able to achieve a little bit more with respect to this industry, it's always, it's always smart to listen, all right? I'm very, very grateful for this company, very grateful for the mentorship of Dr. David Amuniti. The first thing that I actually want to start off, this call with is asking you, what did you get out of the training that Dr. David Amuniti did this past Sunday, the 7 habits of a 7-figure income earner? Can anybody just, maybe highlight something that stood out to you from that session? Because, while I wait on some of the responses in the chat, I remember clearly in my first company, when David Amuniti did that training, 7 habits of a 7-figure income earner, and the impact that training had on me. And I clearly remember after listening to that training, I said, I am going to develop these 7 habits in order for me to become a 7-figure income earner. So let me read out some of the replies in the chat. Action steps from experience. Okay. Gary said, getting back to some serious developments. Okay, good. Goals, always have it. May not hit all, but always have it. That is something that Jean shared, that I think that's really, really powerful. I think a lot of people, including myself at times, especially when I was up and coming, before I had this level of results, you'd always feel less than. Maybe you set a goal and you never hit the goal. And sometimes it can be daunting. But one of the things that you gotta continuously remind yourself is that you are becoming better. Does that make sense? You are becoming a better version of yourself in order to be able to hit that goal and accomplish that goal. And as Dr. David Amuniti shared, it's not about hitting the goal. It's about who you become in the process. Because once you become the right person, you can always repeat the activity, both mental and physical, for you to be able to repeat that said goal. All right. So always have goals. It's very important Jean also pointed out strong work ethic. That's also key, right? Personal development is key. You know, I think a lot of people, as he's mentioning personal development, I think a lot of people think that they can wing personal development, right? Or you can do it on and off. You know, you can always tell when someone is on and off in personal development, because if you are truly engulfed in personal development, listening to the right information, the words that are going to come out of your mouth are going to be different. Your actions are going to be different. You know, let me ask you this question. How many of you take time off from taking a shower? How many of you take time off on taking a shower? Right? We don't do that, right? If you take a time off on taking a shower, you're going to smell stink. Right? Look, if I go a whole day without bathing, man, I'm smelling myself. I'm like, dude, you need to go take a shower. I talk to myself, dude, you need to go take a shower. It's similar to your mind and washing your mind, right? Making sure that it's renewed, right? The mind needs to be renewed, right, on a daily basis. And that's what personal development does for you, right? So don't ever take time off when it's personal development. Setting specific goals. Yes, Elise. So strong personal development, strong money blueprint, right? Strong personal development regime, strong positive mental attitude. That's a big one. All right. Now, here's the truth. You know, you don't have a positive mental attitude when things are only going great. You got to have a positive mental attitude when you're truly being tested. You know, just recently, me personally, you know, I had a situation that I had to deal with in my business, and it wasn't easy, right? And I had to still exhibit a positive mental attitude about the situation. Okay, it was actually a leader deciding to go and do something else. All right, and I had to make a decision to, of course, I had a moment. Right, I'm human. I had a moment for about a day. You know, of course, and I must share this with you guys. I know it's a little bit on a side note, but I still want to share it. I remember hearing David Amaniche say this years ago. He said, you gotta get to the point of maturity where you don't allow something to impact you for a lengthy period of time, right? And as you continue to grow, you know, maybe it will take a month. It will impact you for a month. Well, you want to grow some more so that it doesn't take you an entire month to get over it. It might take you maybe a week, or it might take you a day. I'll tell you this. This one was pretty difficult. But it took me about a day to shrug it off, and I just got back onto it, because I understand that things like this will happen. Does that make sense? Some of you have someone that quit your business, maybe a P1, a team consultant, or maybe a lead consultant, or maybe somebody who hit the level of Sapphire decides to leave your business, right? Always remember, them leaving has nothing to do with you getting to your goal, right? Not God. God is not going to stop the blessing that's going to come your way because of one person. Always remember that. So as I mentioned about having, as a matter of fact, Lori mentioned it, having a positive mental attitude is key, right? I believe what will help you is always operating from a place of faith, understanding that God is in control, right? Sometimes things happen in your life, and there's the saying, for a reason, right? But I can tell you this: there are some things that just need to happen in your business, in your life, to take you to where God truly wants you to be. And I operate from a place of faith. My spiritual foundation always allows me to have a positive mental attitude. I'm just telling you all the honest truth. I have a positive outlook on life all the time. Even when situations arise, I have a positive mental attitude about it. How can I make it work? Maybe God is protecting me from something. So he has to remove some people from my life at this moment. Does that make sense? I just operate with that level of faith. And watch, as soon as God removes someone, God is in the business of not just replacing, but putting the right people on the bus. You know, in the book From Good to Great, it talks about getting the wrong people off the bus and putting the right people on the bus. God will do that. And you got to have the full faith to know that, hey, he is in control. If you submit to him, you know for a fact that he's in control. And I'm telling you, God is my witness. I'm blown away by what God is doing right now. I'm blown away by what God is doing right now. Okay, so thank you for sharing that strong, positive mental attitude. Focus on creating the paradigm, who I am becoming. Do it until, and that's true. You know, I said this in a text message after the call, and I said, you actually need to have those 7 habits before the 7 figures show up. Don't expect to only start developing the 7 habits close to the time when you get to 7 figures. No, you got to have the 7 habits long before the 7 figures show up. Okay. Set the goals and put action, or sit down. Okay. Stay focused until. That's big. That one is also really, really big. The ability to stay focused even through challenges, even through tough times. You know, I still, you know, of course, I'm making reference to, you know, David Amuniti. And if I tell you guys, not just him, even Ivan Tapia, the challenges that they had to deal with and remain focused, right? That's definitely one of the habits you definitely need to have. The ability to remain focused during tough times, okay? And challenges, distractions, action steps, always having goals. Strong personal development, correct. Nikki's saying if no money came on, okay, no, yeah, there you go. If no money came in, do you have 6 months put aside strong money blueprint? That's a big one, right? That is a big one. Can I share something with you guys? You know, our business that we're involved in, you're not going to be able to build the business the way you can dealing with money issues. Okay? Maybe when I share this here today, somebody's going to get free from this today, right? I remember when I was in my first company, and man, I was struggling. I had hit the level of diamond in that company. My business went backwards. I hit diamond in 2013. And I'm talking about ending of 2014. It started getting bad, and I just stayed in the mess for a long time, just focusing on the business, right? And coming down to the end of 2014, David was like, listen, you need to go get a job, right? Let me listen to what I'm telling you here, right? You need to give your business time, and you need to give yourself time to succeed. No one should be attempting to go full-time into this business of network marketing until you are ready to do so. And make sure that you have proper conversations with someone who actually has the results, okay? And to be honest with you, that person needs to be a multiple 6-figure earner or a 7-figure earner. And you have to counsel with that person before you leave your job. Because when money doesn't come in, it impacts you in a way that you're not believing the way you should. You start moving from a place of instead of being at a place of abundance and belief, you start moving from a place of scarcity and lack. And it impacts. Matter of fact, when you try to recruit people, they feel it. Right? So that one there is huge. I know David didn't have the time to unpack it on that call, but I'm here to tell you that right there is huge. Okay. If you're going through anything financially, don't of course, don't go talk to everybody about it, but you're plugged in upline. Make sure and have a conversation with them about it. Okay. I am an open book. I will tell you exactly what you need to hear. Okay. I'm available. David Amenichi is available. Any one of the top leaders, have that conversation with them so that you can now be clear on how to make this work. Okay. I went back and I got a job and I was still working my business part-time. And here's the truth. I could blame this, that, the other, but I had to grow as an individual. I still had to grow, not because somebody hits diamond means that they're at a place of full growth. No, no. Diamond is just a rank, right? You got to grow into the right person, not just to be able to get to 10K a month, but to sustain the income of 10K a month. Does that make sense? And the business is going to have ebbs and flows. Okay. You have to know that. And it doesn't mean that network marketing doesn't work. Any business has ebbs and flows. Doesn't matter what business it is. Okay. But it's not easy to build a business when mentally you have a lot of things that you're dealing with respect to your finances. Okay. So 6 months of savings is big. That's a big one. Strong teachability index. Ooh, don't talk to me about that. That one right there. G's and H's. That one is huge. That one is huge. Teachability index. Man, I could talk about that for hours. But the number one thing I'll tell you is this. All of us, including myself, your teachability index fluctuates. Okay? Your teachability index fluctuates. It's not going to be at an all-time high all the time. But you always want to keep yourself in check and stay at a place of humility so that you can continue to learn and you can continue to grow. Now, you being teachable and coachable doesn't have to mean that your coach or your mentor is perfect either. All right. Don't expect to find a perfect coach or a perfect mentor. All right. But make sure that your teachability index is always high. Okay. Positive mental attitude, big one. All right. If it's between showing the plan on Zoom or showering, I'm doing the Zoom. Okay, cool. That's a good one. Stay teachable and coachable. Stay teachable and learnable and coachable. That's true. They call all we rebuild, absolutely. Determination factor, that's big as well. Man, I'm seeing all the comments coming in. There you go. I felt that. Staying positive in very difficult situations is very hard. It is true. It's hard, right? But you got to choose your hard too, right? There's a statement. I'm sure you all heard it before, right? Being broke is hard and being rich is hard. Choose your hard. I like being rich and I like the hard work that comes with it. Rich in spirit, rich in money, rich in relationships. Wrong people off the bus. You're sure right about that. Amen, amen. All right. Okay, good. Boom, boom, boom. Somebody say commission breath. Mr. Amazing said commission breath. Right. Strong people skills and leadership skills. Yeah, that's big as well. Strong people skills and leadership skills. I used to run over people when I was coming up. I'm like, you're not doing the meetings? You're crazy. You're mad. You're gonna stay broke. I used to run over people when I was coming up in the game, boy. Oh my goodness. Boy. And I had to learn I had to learn some soft skills, you know, because for me, I'm black or white. You know, it's black or white for me. All right. I'm very straightforward. I'm not a fluff guy. I'm very, very straightforward. And it's either you want it or you don't want it. But of course, I had to soften up a little bit. But you know, people skills and leadership skills is everything. If you don't have those skill sets, you're not going to be able to really grow the way you can, right? And you just got to understand the different colors that people are, and you have to be able to just deal with people, right? Got to deal with people. You know, the one thing about this industry is people, and you could love them, and you could also have a lot of difficulties with people as well, right? But at the end of the day, people are people. You got to love on them, and it's something that you're going to continue to you're going to have to continue to work on a continuous basis. I've seen David and Maniti deal with situations, and I learn from those situations, and I learn, I observe, so that, you know, at one time I know for sure I'm going to have to deal with it as well. So that's also very, very huge. All right. The significant problems we cannot be, sorry, let's say that this is like the significant problems we cannot be solved at the same level of thinking. That's true. That's true. Albert Einstein, yes. All right. So I'm glad that you guys got something from that call. What I would recommend, the recording was sent out via email. Find a way to listen to that every day. Do you guys know that we have a kind of podcast situation with Envision U2 on Media Hub, right? So all the calls that happen on a Sunday, it's available that you can just listen to it like a podcast. Everybody knows that, right? Right? Let me know in the chat if everybody knows that. Okay, so some people don't know. Okay, so it's if you go on to Media Hub on your mobile phone and you go onto it, you're gonna and you click on the little center button, you will actually see podcasts. When you click on podcasts, it has all the millionaire mastery calls, all the visionary mastery calls on there. From your phone, you will see the podcast. You click on it and you're going to see all the calls. So you can just click it and listen to it on the go. Okay, that is a call you want to listen to every day. If there's any piece of advice I can give you, you want to be on that. Don't come off of that training at all. Okay, so I think Nigel just posted it there in the chat. You want to be on it. Okay. Now, what I want to go over is the self-confidence formula with you guys on this call. I think this is such a blessing to anyone that's in this space. You know, I saw Mr. Chandler, you know, spoke about becoming a potential 6- and 7-figure income earner. How many of you truly believe that this industry will pay you multiple 6 figures and 7 figures? How many of you truly, truly believe that? How many of you truly believe that this company, Envision U, will pay you multiple 6 and 7 figures in income? All right, and you're not just seeing it because everybody's seeing it in the Zoom chat. All right, that's what we're here for. All right, every one of us, that's what we're here for. We want to be able to earn multiple 6 and 7 figures in income. And the truth is, David Amanita and Yvonne Tapia, they put this company together for that to happen for you. Okay, but if you go through that list of the 7 habits to becoming a 7-figure income earner, you will see for yourself the areas that you have to improve in. And I'm here to tell you the brutal, honest truth. There is no way that it is going to happen if you don't develop those 7 habits. And even if it does happen, you will not be able to repeat it. Okay? You will not be able to repeat it. But what will help you continue on the path to getting there is working on your self-confidence. The reason why you have not been able to hit certain goals, it is because of your self-confidence. When you work on your self-confidence, you will recruit better people. Some people still to this day, they don't believe that they can recruit certain people. So they don't even talk to them, right? But when you develop sufficient self-confidence, you will talk to them. You will recruit them. You will know how to move them along. You will be able to start the right conversation with them when you have sufficient self-confidence. It's huge. When you walk into the room, it's not like a proud type of confidence, but are you whole within yourself? Okay, lacking nothing. Do you know how you get to that place? You got to speak the self-confidence formula to yourself every single day. The job of your self-confidence is a daily job. You got to work on it daily. You got to be intentional about it. So I'm just going to read over, this again. You cannot hear this enough times. Some people say, Gary, how come you just teach the same thing over and over and over? I'm gonna keep teaching it until you get it, right? If I have to teach this 100 times, I'm gonna teach it, because the answers already lie within the self-confidence. The answers that you're looking for, like, how many of you know that you have these conversations with yourself? You're asking, what should I do? What should I be doing better? What can I do? You're always having these conversations with yourself. You always do. What can I do better? Read the self-confidence formula. Read it and reread it. I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, aggressive, and continuous action towards attaining it. You have to, can I be honest with you? You have to be able to go against the grain to get to 6 figures in this industry. You can't be like everybody else and get to 6 figures in this industry, right? Persistent, aggressive, continuous action towards its attainment. I demand this of myself. Don't wait on your upline to demand persistence and aggressive, continuous action out of you. If you have to wait on your upline to get that out of you, you are not ready to become a 6-figure earner. You're not ready. That is something that you have to do on your own. You got to become mature. You cannot be like a baby in this industry and get to 6 figures or 7 figures in income. No, that has to be an internal clock that has you going. Persist. My wife asks me all the time. I would wake up, pray, and I'm in it one time. I don't need to crank up. It's just something internal. I just get up and go. Now, some of you might say, well, Gary, I am not you. You're right. You are not me. You're right. You're not me. But I'm telling you, you're going to have persistence. You're going to have to be aggressive. You're going to have that continuous action. You got to have that to get to 6 and 7 figures in income. I'm just telling you that right now. Just telling you right now, you got to have that. If you don't have that internal clock, my friends, just saying, you're not ready. But guess what? If you read this every day to yourself, you will get ready, because you're speaking it. Faith comes by hearing. The sweetest sound to your own paradigm is your voice. So keep speaking and now reaffirming exactly the type of person you need to be, right? I realize that the dominating thoughts of my mind eventually reproduce themselves in outward bodily action and gradually transform itself into physical reality. That statement is so loaded. The dominating thought of your mind. What is the dominating thought of your mind? I know some people don't like this statement, but that I'm going to say, but you have to become obsessed about your goals. There's no two ways about it. The people that truly get what they want out of life, they are obsessed about their goals. They are. You know, I don't know any other way. I've never seen anybody in my 13 years of being a part of this profession attain high levels of success without being obsessed about it. They're thinking about it morning, noon, and night. They're thinking about it. And here's the honest truth. When things are not going the way that you wanted to, do you know that that is the dominating thought in your mind? And that's why you're going to have to learn to discipline your own thinking. You have to speak to your mind to harness your thinking. So when things are not going great in the physical, you got to know, as I said, I texted that message this morning, you got to know that what I'm seeing in front of me is temporary, but what I cannot see is what trumps what I see in the physical, what I cannot see. So I have to go and create in the spirit first. I got to have the right thoughts, right? You know, where is this book? I'm reading a book on let's see if I can find it real quick. 1 second. Right? I'm reading a book. I got this book from a friend of mine, The Power of Your Mind, but it was done by Pastor Chris. And you know, the Word of God actually teaches us how to think. In the Word, God actually says, think on these things, whatsoever things are lovely, whatever things that are pure, whatever things that are just. Like you actually have to learn how to think. Hello? Hello, somebody? Are you guys getting that? You actually need to learn how to think. The greatest battle is the one of the mind. That's the greatest battle, right? You actually need to learn how to think. This is the truth. Now, listen, it's not how to think when you're around everybody else. It's how to think when you're by yourself, when nobody is around you. You got to learn how to think. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. It's right in the Word. Let me read it for you one more time. Now, even though this word is here, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have challenges. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have issues to deal with, but you're going to have to learn how to think. Because as a man thinketh, so is he. You attract exactly what you think about the most. You can jump high, jump low. Whatever you're attracting right now is because you're thinking about it a lot. You're thinking about the challenges more than the solutions. But right here it says, finally, brethren and sistren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. What's the dominating thought in your mind? Are you thinking about, well, now, remember I spoke about money issues, right? Do you know when you have money issues, listen, that is the dominating thought in your mind? Like you can't, like it's almost like you can't even think. I remember when I was struggling, good Lord Almighty. I had to pop in my ears. Do you know what I do? I said, man, listen, I'm so weak right now. Like spiritually, I'm weak. I gotta refuel. So guess how I refuel? I plug in the wood. Ivy Hiller. I was listening to that thing. And all I was doing was just following instructions because I was listening to the information so much. I was listening to the information so much that I felt like when my spirit was weak, because here's the truth. When the bank would have called me for me to pay the arrears on my loan, listen, I'm telling you, I felt like I was finished after that call. I was like, yeah, I thought I was finished after that. And all I'm thinking about is, how am I going to pay this thing? How am I going to pay this thing, right? But in that time, in your lowest moment, you gotta feed yourself the right information. How are you going to harness your thinking? You can harness your thinking by instructing your mind. So the lesson here is, okay, how do I have a dominating thought? The only way you have a dominating thought is when you instruct your mind. So develop the habit that daily you're going to be confessing your goals. And here's the truth. Can I be honest with you? Most people do not do it on a consistent basis. Somebody say, well, Gary, just teach me the skills. My friend, listen, if this thing was just about the skills, everybody would have been able to go and hit 6 figures and 7 figures in income already. It's not just about the skills. It's not just about the skills. How did you keep your significant other in faith too? That's a good question. That's a nice question, Cameron. Good question. Man, listen, here's another thing. I remember hearing a billionaire say that one of the most important decisions that you're gonna have to make is choosing the right spouse. Yeah, that's the truth, right? They better be listening to the audio. Akeem, that's actually true. You know, if I be honest with you, my wife in the beginning was not a believer in network marketing. She was not. I had to go prove to her that it's real. But I believe we had a quantum leap in our success when she started to grow with me. I would take her to the trainings with me with Bob Proctor. And that's when I started to see the quantum leap, because now it's not just me having the faith and the belief. She also had the faith and the belief, right? So you want your spouse to grow with you. That's very, very important. If you are a husband or a wife on this call, your spouse needs to grow in alignment with you. They need to be believing with you. They don't have to. My wife is not forefront in the business. My wife is not forefront in the business at all, but she is in the business. Does that make sense? All the things that I am not able to do, she is there. Does that make sense? And I am nothing without her. Okay. But you gotta go prove to your spouse. It's your job to go prove to your spouse that it's working. Okay. It's not good for you to be not bringing in the bread. Does that make sense? You got to bring in the bread. All right. So I realized that the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward bodily action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Here's the truth. It's going to take time. I was just having a conversation with Luke and with Brent just now, and I was telling them, I said, it took time for me to grow. You know, I had to grow into the person to become a 7-figure income earner. Yes, of course, certain things aligned for it to happen, but I had to grow. It really took me, I joined the industry 2011. Not until 2017, I made $1 million in 15 months from 2016 to 2017. But here's the truth. It really took me 7 years. It really took me about 7 years. Does it make sense? It takes time. So you see that gradual transformation that into physical reality? That's true. Listen, if you're a leader on here, do not feel that you can microwave the success of someone in your team. You cannot do that. Oh, I want to make them, you know what I mean? I want to help them get to $5,000. You can, yes, you can do that, but they have to be the right person. You can't force someone into becoming a 6-figure earner. You can't do that. You got to give them time to grow. David gave me time to grow because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. It's this, by the way, do you know it's the same information? There's nothing new. It's the same information that we've been teaching for the longest. But we have to keep teaching it until you come to the place of receiving. You might be hearing all the time, but you're not receiving. But when you get it, I'm telling you, it's a wrap. When you get it, it's a wrap. Therefore, I will concentrate my mind for 30 minutes daily. Now, look, let's just be honest. This is a guide. But if you concentrate for more than 30 minutes a day, listen, this thing has no choice but to show up. This thing called your goals, it has no choice but to show up. You understand what I'm saying? I will concentrate my mind for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become. Guys, you can run a commercial in your mind for free. Do you know they came up with the whole concept of running commercials because they understand how the mind works? You don't have to pay to run a commercial on the canvas of your imagination. You can do that as often as you want. Create that person that you're going to become, that person who's benevolent, that person who's giving, that person who is, and run that commercial. That person that's making 100,000 US a year, run that commercial. How's life going to look? Run that commercial in your mind. And you got to do it intentionally. You cannot leave it for happen chance. Set the time. Put an alarm clock on. This is my time to visualize. Sit down, close your eyes, and just run the play. Run the play in your mind. Run the movie in your mind. Just run the whole movie. This is how I'm gonna dress. This is how I'm gonna greet people. This is how I'm gonna give. Just run it. This is the house I'm gonna have. This is how much I'm gonna give. Just run the commercial. Keep running it. Who cares if people think that you're crazy? You gotta be a little bit cuckoo to get to 6 figures in income. It's less than 10% of the people in the world that make over $100,000 US a year, guys. It's less than 10%. So, you just think you're going to be like the 90% and get to 10%? No. Heck no. Right? Thinking of the person I need to become by creating a mental picture of that person. And then transforming that picture into reality through practical service. The best way to learn is in activity. The best way to learn is in the activity. The best way to learn. You're going to learn great things. You're going to learn lessons. You're going to learn how to deal with people. You're going to learn how to deal with, I've done so many presentations. If you're you would know that you have gone through some stuff when everything starts going wrong. The laptop is not working. You know, how have you been through that, right? The laptop is not working. You know, the PowerPoint is glitching, right? The PowerPoint is glitching, but you're still doing it. Hmm? When you've done it enough times, you know how to deal with that. Hmm? Some of you are trying to get to the next level without going through the experiences. You got to go through the experiences. You got to, right? I know through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek itself through some practical means of realizing it. Therefore, I shall devote 10 minutes daily to demand of myself the development of the factors, right? And of course, it's in the laws of success. Auto-suggestion. Get your gold cards. At our event, I gave out these gold cards. How many of you have these gold cards? How many have one of these? Right? Look at the size of it, right? It's the size of, it's just big enough to be right there with your wallet. You see that? That's how I designed. The guy said, Gary, what size do you want this to be? After the first time Bob Proctor gave me one of these at his Paradigm Shift event, I always have this with me, right? So every time you touch your wallet, you're touching your goals. Mine is on the inside of your phone. Okay, got it, right? Look, every time you touch your wallet, you want to read your goals to yourself. I have the template for this. I'll post it in the chat. If you're not, of course, in Trinidad and you want this, I'm going to post the template in the chat. Go print it. I'm going to laminate mine so I can have it with me everywhere I go. I just haven't gotten the time to laminate it just yet. This is my gold card for 2024. Okay. Canada, yes, please. Thank you. Yes, so I'm going to post the template of it after this call in our leadership chat, and everyone take it, print it. I remember hearing Bob Proctor said, every time I touch my gold card, he said it's almost like the energy of it just flows and goes straight into my body, right? You gotta have this on you, okay? And don't worry about the date. The date is just for your accountability, right? But just know from the time you wrote it down, it's already done. It's already done. Remember, you have to establish it first in the spirit. It's already established in the spirit. Now it's just a matter of time before it shows up in its polar opposite. I heard Bob Proctor say that one time. I said, oh, that's strong. He said, whatever is established in the spirit, whatever is established in the spirit, it must show up in its polar opposite. It must. So make sure you have this. So every day, don't take days off. It's the holidays. Oh, it's the holidays. I don't need to go read my goals. Yes, you do. Do you take showers? Yeah. Well, take a time off on you declaring your goals and see how your mind starts wandering. Listen, in this age that we're living in, it's so easy to get distracted. It is so easy. Everything is fighting for your attention. Everything, social media, your family. It is so easy to get distracted. But 6- and 7-figure income earners are good at harnessing their mind, harnessing their thinking by instructing their mind. Number 4, I have clearly mapped out and written down a description of my definite chief purpose in life. What is your definite chief aim in life? What's your definite chief aim in life? How many lives do you want to impact? Do you know what I love the most is truly having the chance to impact people's lives. It takes someone from not believing to believing to having major results and them now passing it on. What is your definite chief aim in life? Let's go to number 5. I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Here's my word to all of you on here. I, myself, or David, or Yvonne, we're not there when you are registering someone in the business. We're not there all the time. I want to ask you to do things the right way. Don't overpromise to anyone. You know, no one that I personally recruit will ever have to come back to me and say, well, Gary, you teach my money. Oh, Gary. No. No one, because I'm straightforward. I do things the right way. I have a moral compass. I do things the right way. I want you to do things the right way. Be integral in every approach you take when it comes to your business. Integrity matters more than money. My name, your name is all you have. When you build your business on truth and justice, it will last. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. All right. There are people who, people are going to be people, right? But let's be honest, you're not going to get to success and long endured success without doing things the right way. And even if you have monetary success, your life is going to be miserable if you don't do it the right way. Your life is going to be miserable. Jean said he loved when I said, I know how to make peaceful money. When I make this money and I sleep, I'm at peace. Nobody can come back and say this or that. No. You got to do things the right way. I will succeed. Listen to this here. I will succeed by attracting to me the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of others, of other people. When you serve people the right way, do you know people will run through a brick wall for you when you truly care about them and you serve them well? They will go the extra mile. They got to feel from you that you really want them to win. Okay? When you serve them well, I promise you, magic is going to start happening. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve them. Through your service, they will serve. You don't even have to ask them. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, sin, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity. Listen, I'm telling you right now, I've seen David love people even when it hurt. He was loving people. But I'll tell you this, love wins. Because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. If you have a negative attitude towards anyone, even within the business, do you really think you're going to attract success to you if you have a negative mindset towards somebody in the business? Negative? Especially when they're winning and they're winning well? They're doing it right? No, all you're going to do is shoot yourself in the foot. I will cause others to believe in me because I believe in them. I will cause others to believe in me because I believe in them. Do you truly believe in the people that you're working with? Do you truly believe? If you're on this call and you are fortunate to work with an upline, that is someone of integrity, someone of character, someone that genuinely loves people, someone that will go the extra mile with you. If you're fortunate to have access to that person, use the access. Use it, and use it well. Make a decision that I'm going to become a student. I made a decision years ago that I'll become a student to David Amuniti. I made that decision years ago. Still to this day, I'm a student. Right? Become mature in knowing that God has already given you everything pertaining to life and to godliness. You already have it in you. All right? Just become more aware of the power that lies within you and go to work. Now, the work is not just physical. The work is mental as well, too. Look up the definition of the word work. Right? It's the mental and physical. And both are extremely important. Extremely important. 2024 is a very pivotal year for Envision U. A very pivotal year. It's the year, I believe, that we're going to establish ourselves even more as a company, where people are going to want to be a part of this company even more. 100 diamonds by the time we get to the Atlanta convention. There's no reason why, all 50 of you on this call here cannot be diamonds. There's no reason. It's 5 months away. It's 5 months away. But can you develop the sufficient self-confidence to become a diamond in Envision U by May 24th? There's no difference. The question is, do you believe in you? We have everything. We have more than enough right now in the company, product-wise, leadership-wise, system-wise, for you to go diamond. January, you can be a qualified sapphire. February, you can go qualified ruby. You can give yourself 2 months to go diamond after February. February, March, April. Let's just see by April month and you hit diamond, qualified diamond. Yes, you can. If that is your desire, start speaking that thing. Don't let up. You know what you need to do. Right? Everybody knows what they need to do, right? Everybody knows how to go diamond, right? I'm sure everybody knows how to go diamond on this call. Like 100,000 in volume. You need 10 solid qualified champions in your business. You know that. You know it. The question is, how often are you thinking about it? Is it the dominating thought in your mind? If it is the dominating thought in your mind, you're going to work on it every day. You are. You're going to work on it every day. I want to see you guys cross the stage as diamonds, as many of you as possible. For those of you that want it, I don't see any reason why we cannot accomplish it. I am extremely excited. When I tell you that what you say you're going to have, it is truth. It is truth. I'm so grateful that we are exposed to this information. Does that make sense? Don't get so nonchalant and complacent that what is being taught to us, that everybody knows it. It's not the case. It's not the case. We gotta really appreciate the information we get and that we're taught in this company. And I know all of you value it. But how do you take it to the next level? By making a personal decision that I'm going to apply the teachings. I'm really going to do it. I'm really going to stay consistent on my confessions. You know, I almost feel like December is the month where you sow a lot of seeds in December. I feel like that's the month where you sow a lot of seeds, and you see the harvest in January. January is going to be one for the books. I'm telling you right now. The month of January is going to be one for the books. My Tina said, "Call me the farmer." January is going to be one for the books. I'm telling you. So just lock in right now. Of course, you got your family time, all of that, but lock in and sow those seeds. Do those one-on-ones. Do those two-on-ones. Right? And for those of you that are in leadership chats and you see me posting my activity, I'm only posting my activity to show you that this is what you need to do. Does that make sense? Not to show up anyone, but it's to show you what you need to do. All right? You gotta be a leader of one before you become a leader of many. If you can't lead you can't lead anybody else. All right? The best way to lead in this business is by leading by example. You lead, and guess what? Others will follow. They will. The right ones will follow. Okay? I hope you guys got some value from this call. I'm going to be doing the Vision Mastery call on Sunday. Get ready for that. It's gonna be absolute fire. Can't wait for that call. Super excited to see what God is going to speak through me on that call. I'm a little bit reserved because my family is sleeping right now. So you see, I'm talking and right. I'm being mindful of my kids. They're in bed already. If it was daytime, my energy would have been, my energy would have been all the way up. Right. But don't worry. Right. But of course, this was a conversation type call tonight as well. So hopefully you got some value. I know it's pretty late for some of you guys, but I appreciate every single one of you. If I have not told you this, I love every single one of you. My wife and I, we appreciate every single one of you. We are truly, truly blessed. 2024 is the year of expansion, and just expect great, amazing things to happen. But guess what? You could only expect great and mighty things if you're sowing the seeds, okay? Don't expect the harvest if you don't sow the seed, okay? So go ahead, start sowing those seeds, and watch a harvest that will come into your life, come into your family's life that you do not have room to contain. So, Mr. Chandler, any closing words before we end off the call?
Gary, listen. First, I want to thank you for all those words of wisdom. I want to thank everybody who stayed on. Some people saw 9 o'clock and said, well, I got to go. You know how to persevere. And I've been pastoring since 1997. Dr. Ivy Hilliard is my mentor. And one thing I've learned over the years, you don't ever preach behind a preacher. You just laid it out. Everything you said, everything you said, I'm looking at scripture. That's scripture. That's Bible. That's Bible. Everything you saying. All we have to do is just embrace everything that Gary said, because he's a servant. He let you know. And when you have a servant's heart, and I also realize, a lot of times, people quote scriptures, let this mind be in you that was also in Christ Jesus, which is in Philippians 2 and 5. But most people don't go back to verse 1 and read down to 5. And the essence of that whole passage right there, those passages, is when you put others' success before yours. Man, you are so awesome. I appreciate you. I love you like a brother. Thank you for,
Appreciate you.
Understand this. I'm not even on your team, but you made time for our team. So what I want to do, everybody, and Gary, you home. So any Tuesday night at 7:55 p.m., we are right here. Our team, we got our awesome leaders, and I'm gonna give them an opportunity to share before we go. Give us about 3 minutes, I'm sure. But if Mr. Rodney Roach or Cameron Gamble or any one of our leaders, if you want to share something right now before everybody go, because listen, they still on here. You guys are, I mean, from Nigeria, Bahamas, you guys are phenomenal, and we so appreciate you. But once again, I had a couple of leaders. I'm gonna let them go ahead and share, and you guys can close it out.
Listen, like you said, I'm not interested in preaching behind the preacher. He did an excellent job. and correction, like, yeah, we are on his team, right? Chandler. So yeah,
I didn't want to assume anything, but the thing is, I just want people to realize, even if we weren't, and thank you, Mr. Roach, for correction, but even if we was not on his team, he was serving. So thank you, Mr. Roach, for correcting that.
Absolutely, because NVU, if I'm not mistaken, one team. Absolutely. Thank you so much again, Gary. Appreciate you. On to you, Cam.
Yep, nothing to add here. Just again, thank you for the time and the commitment, pulling away from your family. Chandler, great job teeing this thing up, making it happen. And again, just want to extend the invitation to all. We'll be back again next week. I mean, as Mr. McSween said, the value is there for you to plug into as often as frequently as possible. So one team, one dream. So if anybody needs a little fortifying next week, we certainly welcome you to come right back on this platform. And you just never know who's going to be on. We always have special guests, subject matter experts, and the like. So if you need to get poured into, if your cup's a little dry, or if you want to invite some other team members, we certainly welcome each and every one of you. And again, thank you to Gary McSween. Hopefully you've got a lot of international minutes saved up because you were on for a while. So we appreciate the time and all the blessings that you bestowed upon us. So thanks all. Good night. And we'll see you guys again next week. Stay well. Hit that juice.